What's up, y'all? How you doing? This is your boy Gerald. It is Saturday the 14th of September. Wow. We're halfway through September, and you know, time is marching on. I know a lot of you are probably, your tempo is kind of stepped up, and you probably had more obligations being placed in your path. It's not by chance, it's required. Everybody's life direction is being called. It is time for you to define who you are. But first, for those who do not know me, my name is Gerald Davis. I'm a life coach and an inspiring psychologist. In October of 2011, I made the greatest decision of my life, and that was to embrace my spiritual journey. In turn, I decided to show this to the world because I know I'm not alone. How you guys doing? How you doing? And for those who've never stumbled on my videos, first of all, welcome. It is not by chance. It is meant for you to convey the message, to receive the message which comes from the Spirit. I am not a pastor. However, I do have a strong discernment and faith, and you deserve it. You deserve it. And if someone has shared this video with you, it was intended for you to hear this. Now, this week, how was your week, first of all? Was it good? Was it great? I hope it was. I hope it was filled with, you're going to have challenges, and you're going to have things that are going to be placed in your direction for you to address. That's why you have free will. That is why some of you may have had situations that have been repetitive, and just the scenario has changed, but you know exactly where this is coming from. So this message is for you. First and foremost, I have a question to you. For those who may be going through challenges, upheavals, setbacks, first and foremost, what you're going through is your spiritual storm. What is being required at this time is you are to authenticate who you are. So, my question to you is this: who or what convinced you not to embrace your life? Who or what convinced you to put that clearance sale tag when it comes to your life above you? Who or what convinced you that you are not important, that you do not have a purpose, and you are condoning what is being brought in the midst of your day-to-day? Listen, first of all, my higher power is my Lord Jesus Christ. Now, as you know, for those who have a spiritual foundation, know that He is one of many, many names. He is omnipresent. And with that being said, I want to tell you, angels as well as demons exist. Yes, they do. But see, a lot of times we allow our situations to distract us from what is being presented, and you might not see it, but you'll reflect on it and introspect. You may be thinking, well, Gerald, I don't understand. You're saying angels and demons exist, and you're talking about my higher power, but I'm still struggling. What I'm trying to get you to understand is this: sometimes it is the struggle that is actually preparing you for your breakthrough. That is right. See, you're not going through what someone else is not going through. The only difference is understanding what you're going through. But see, we as human beings, but we are spiritual beings first. You have to break down those things that are called your flaws. See, those things are fostered. They're being held up by your fears. They're being reaffirmed by your pride. So if you have your fear and pride in front of you at all times, how can the things that you truly need get access to the real you? I'm talking about that little boy and that little girl that's in you that you do not dare show the world, because that means you would be too vulnerable to show that, because that's your true self. And some of you may have taken a position because of hurts, I'm not going to stop this because that's nothing but a distraction. However, hold on one second. I hate to do this because I got my voicemail going and I like my privacy. Hold on. Alright, y'all. I'm sorry about that. I do have a life, just like you do. Now, as I was saying, because of the challenges that we face in our life. Now, you got to understand, where you are right now is not where you want to be in your destiny, in your legacy. But see, it is not until you learn the necessary tools that is really going to authenticate who you are. Which, what I'm saying to you is this: there are going to be life choices and life decisions because of actions from your free will. You got to think of it like this. Picture yourself in front of two doors. Now, you have your destiny, which is on A and B. Now, depending on which door you choose to go through, that will direct a certain path or experience that you're going to embrace. Sometimes they will be very blissful, very happy. Sometimes there will be some upheavals and traumas that are also on your evolution of who you are. But see, the common denominator in that is this: free will. See, I had to learn this. No one can do anything to you unless you allow it. That's just what it is. But it's your responsibility as a person, a spiritual being first, to either embrace or not condone. But because our environment, we allow our insecurities, which there is our ego, there's our pride, cause a reaction to a choice, which is usually emotionally based, and then results from that. But that result, 9 times out of 10, is not in your best interest. So, I go back to this. Who or what, because only you know, convinced you that you're not special? Everyone has a purpose. And with that purpose, it is derived from an influence. But more or less, it is actually initiated by free will. I mean, that's just the generic aspect of it. There's somebody right now that's waking up because you've been crying all night. You've been crying all night and you're frustrated because you don't understand why your life is where it is. My message to you is this. Get your composure. Give that situation, whatever it may be, to your higher power. Give it to him. Truly give it to them. Excuse me, give it to him. Your higher power. My higher power is my Lord Jesus Christ. And if it is meant, if it is in your best interest, you will get the result intended. Even if it means disillusion. So you got to understand something. See, we as spiritual beings, because that's what we are, we attract everything we experience. Everything. You know that proverbial saying, birds of a feather flock together? It is very true. That is why it's very important to govern your life. If you want to have, I hate using the word want, but that's the only way I can say it. If you desire to have the life that you envision in your heart, then you must cultivate it with the things that will spawn that harvest. There is no ifs, ands about it. You cannot shortcut your life. For example, if you know that, say for example, you want a new, okay, say you wanted, you see a vehicle that you like, right? But you ain't got no means to pay for it. But you want it. Notice I said want. Well, if you don't take the time to have a game plan to execute, to do what needs to be done, it's not going to come into your life. You're not going to attract it in your life because you're not taking the actions that are needed. But if you opt, like some, to take a shortcut, which means devalue who you are, you'll obtain it, you will, but it won't work. You'll have problems with it. It'll be more chronic or toxic until you let it go. Why? Because it was not earned. That's just like, here's another situation. That's just like love. Everybody wants love. Everybody wants love. But if you're not loving yourself, or if you're building it, or you're basing it on a selfish or shallow position, guess what you're going to attract? You're going to attract that person that has those traits. You're going to do that. That's not fair. That's a discredit to who you are. You wasn't placed on this earth to live a life of pain. You weren't. So stop beating yourself up. Lift your head up. Take time to be in introspection of who you are. That's first and foremost. I know you guys are like, well, what do you mean, Joe? What do you mean? Okay. Here you go. What I'm asking you is this. It is now time, and I commend each and every one of you that have already done this. You have to embrace your flaws. Every one of them. Every one of them. Embrace them, because those are yours. And one by one, by priority, start working on them. I'm going to tell you what happens when you do. You will actually tap into a strength that has been there the whole time. Why? Because you're loving yourself. You're reinvesting in yourself. And by you reinvesting yourself, guess what? There are no fears now. You're able to stand strong and look at them and claim who they are, because these are byproducts of who you are. Now, no one, and I repeat, no one can define who you are unless you let them. Now, here's the beautiful thing about that. Remember, as I always said, as you start to love yourself, invest in yourself, hold space, and you do the work, reflect on where you've been, project where you're going, two things are going to happen. Number one, those people who do not have your worth or best interest will disappear. They'll disappear. Why? Because, see, the devil, yes, I'm going to say that, he is a lion in the brush. He is there to kill, will, and destroy. He is the ultimate opportunist, and he does not want you to be happy. So what is happening is this. Every opportunity he can, he will send you a distraction in many forms. May it be a person, a situation, or an event. And the whole foundation of the three I've described is to keep you from embracing who you are. So if I can keep your foundation topsy-turvy, how can you find balance? My queens, you and I both know this. How can you balance or find validation of self if you don't feel emotionally safe? How? Each and every one of you that are watching this video know deep down inside, you just want to be loved. You want to be understood. And you just want to grow. However, the media does not want you to see your worth. So what does the media do? It puts out subliminal information so that you can receive it and convince you not to see your worth. So guess what they do? They take imagery, or they find someone that will spark your interest to distract you from self. I think Ice Cube said it best in the from Crackers, the American Most Wanted album, and he said there will be a new fill in the blank next year. You know why why celebrities always have a good run and then they just fizzle out? Because they realize that those people that they have put a platform up they're going to be able to attract those that they think can relate to them. It's no more different than putting a puppet out there. It's no different than taking a crying baby that only wants to be loved, nurtured, and protected, and you showing them an object that will distract them. It's the same approach. But my queens, you fall prey to it all the time. Which goes back to free will. You have to make a decision. Are you unique, or are you of the masses? Or, as they always say, are you with the flock? A sheep. Because think of a sheep. All you gotta do is feed the sheep whatever you want, and the sheep will follow you. But they will never feed the sheep truth. Why? Because they understand the power of the black woman, or women in general. They know your value. They know if they can control you, you're going to control all the extensions of you. May it be your children, or anyone of influence that you have control of. They know that. So the first thing that they will do is dehumanize the male. They have convinced you that men have no value. And granted, they will never tell you to take ownership of your life. But they will point out every flaw to get you to think that you shouldn't. And give you the victim card. You cannot do that, my friends. You cannot. You cannot. Be the exception to the rule. Because your inner child, that little girl that's within you, that is pissed off, that is very angry, because she is not understood, that feels that she has to go beyond the call of duty just to feel validation of self. She's tired. She's tired. And she's at the brink of settling in her condition. Do not fall prey to that. Do not do that. Hey, I mean, it's the same tactics they've been running for the last 50 years. That's why you always hear, and now a word from our sponsors. The sponsors are actually sponsoring bad behavior. Have you noticed when you look on the TV, there's so much garbage on the TV, there's nothing, anything when it comes to bettering you, you won't find it. And they'll put it out there, but there'll be times that you can't see it. And they know that 9 times out of 10, because most women, you embrace the now, what's going on right there. You'll reflect on yesterday. You might glance at tomorrow, but you focus on now. They know 9 times out of 10, if it doesn't fit in your schedule, you're not going to do it. Why? Because those distractions come in to keep you from your foundation. So therefore, you cannot find balance in yourself. That's why you think all the time. Because you're trying to hold space. No different than a hamster on a treadmill. You just want balance. You just want peace. You just want to be loved. So start loving you. Start loving you. Don't you find it kind of ironic that when it comes to your gender, the positivity aspect always takes a backseat to negativity? Why? Because they want you to focus on the negative, not the positive. Because they think you're stupid. And we know that's far from the truth. So my question to you, and I'm not finished with the guys because I ain't got there yet. So my question to you is this. Who convinced you that your life was second rate? Who convinced you to settle? If you're going through something right now, the best thing that you can do is to find clarity. Go to the source. But you can't do it alone. You can't. That is why it's important to have a spiritual foundation. May it be whatever it is, as long as it's positive. If in that And that's why I say He is one. He is omnipresent. And He wants only for you to embrace compassion, kindness, and love. Love of self. That's why in the Bible it says, "Be to thyself be true." Why? Because if you're not true to yourself, how can you be true to your environment? And your environment is only going to foster the extensions of that environment. That's why you must always speak your truth. It is very important for yourself. Because when you have a platform that is true to you, and I'm not talking taking a position of condoning, I'm saying taking a position of ownership. When you accept that, you can grow from that. And you know why it's hard? You know why you're going through the things? Because your life is so precious, it demands you to make those decisions. You got to understand, as I've always said, where your destiny and legacy is, it's already been written before you took your first breath. So guess what? There are those people that are going to convince you not to embrace who you are. Why? Because they don't have the tools to grow in themselves. So misery loves company. Queen, stop doing that. Please. From one spiritual man to you. You have a purpose. You have a purpose. But so many women have lost their self-worth that they feel that what they see here validates who they are here. And that ain't right. Remember 30 years ago, the whole platform women would say, "Stop looking at me from here. I'm up here." But society's convinced you to look here, not here, not here. So more or less, you're no different than cattle or an adornment, an arm piece. Why? Why are you selling for that? Why? Just something to think about. It is time for you to love yourself. It is now time for you to look at what are the things that you're so angry about. What is that pain? It is time for you to go there and dissect why. And when you take the time to dissect why, guess what? Take that time to say, you know what? I did this. I have ownership of that. And from those, look at the extensions of those choices made. You got to remember, no one can do anything to you unless you allow it. So if you are taking the time to love yourself, putting your boundaries where they should be, why would anyone try to sabotage you? They can't get to you. Because you're taking a position to speak truth of who you are. And guess what? That little girl inside you will smile again. And you deserve it. My kings, I got a message for you too. But I'm running on 30, so I'm going to stop it right here. It is time, y'all, to do the work. Stop allowing your situation to have dominion on your life. If anything, think of it this way. Do you actually think that your purpose is to be in pain? I really don't think so. And I think deep down inside you do too. I think you feel the same way. So own who you are. Embrace your purpose and do the work. I'm telling you, y'all, not only will you find the beauty of who you are, you will find the courage to let that illuminate And guess what? You will attract the things you need compared to the things you want. And that's priceless. As I always say, God is praying for you. You know I am. Feel free to drop me a line, y'all. And if you got any questions, concern, you can inbox me if it's personal, if you don't want to. And I'm on Google Plus, okay? So you guys have a safe and blessed weekend, okay? Stay blessed, y'all.